has came and believed in my mission, I definitely want to give myself a formal introduction. My name is Simone Davis. I am originally from St. Louis, Missouri. I went to Texas in high school, so now I say I'm from Texas, and that's where y'all get that southern accent from. And I moved to Arizona for my corporate job. My corporate job moved me down here to Arizona. And like I tell everybody, I got here and I'm getting the pay that I always wanted, and I'm just like, oh my goodness, I'm gonna go into corporate world and I'm just gonna shoot straight to the top. So with that being said, about a couple of months being here, I started feeling something empty in my belly and I started feeling incomplete. So I'm just like, I began to pray and I'm like, Lord, what is it? Like, I'm here, I got my children, I'm making the type of money I want, I'm no longer on the phone, I'm not doing collections, like, what is this emptiness that I'm feeling? And I began to pray and ask God to reveal it to me. And he told me that I needed to start my beauty pageant in Arizona, which is called Miss Arizona Divine Elite Scholarship Beauty Pageant. Now, this is a branch from the pageant that I had in Texas called Miss America Divine Elite. If y'all listen to that title, it has that acronym, Made Queen, in there. So that's where that's where I get the acronym Made Queen from, because I do have a pageant background. So I come to Arizona and I start networking, meeting people that I never thought that I would ever meet. And people started looking at me and saying, how are you networking? You've only been here since May. How are you beginning to meet all of these people? And one of my good friends online from Chicago told me that I needed to make a women empowerment group for women entrepreneurs like myself. And I was like, no one wants to hear me talk. All I know is pageants. I can't lead entrepreneurs. That's not what I do. And she was like, and every month she would tell me, Simone, start that group. Simone, start that group. And I'm like, Marcia, I don't think I can do that. So one day she just stopped in the middle of our conversation and she was like, Simone, you haven't started that group yet? And I'm like, no. She was like, get off the phone right now and go home and start that group. Literally, as soon as I started that group, I had 100 people by the end of the day. And I started this group on November 19th. So we are at 759 members. And our mission, thank you. And our mission for the group, Made Queen, stands for Manifesting and Developing Entrepreneur Queens. And our mission for the group is to make sure that we inspire, educate, develop, and brand all entrepreneurs. So I had this vision and it has really just become a brand for me. As I stated before, this all started with my beauty pageant called Miss Arizona Divine Elite that has the MADE in there. So this is just another branch that I'm incorporating under my pageant, considering, like I said, I am a former pageant queen. I used to be Miss Omega Psi Phi in college, and then I used to be Miss Africa Texas when I was in Texas, and then I'm an entrepreneur by heart. That's why I decided to open up my own divisional scholarship beauty pageant, and I feel like it is the best of both worlds. I get to represent queens, and I get to represent the entrepreneurship. So I am very excited for all of you that have shown up and really believed in me, and I hope that this vision just continues to grow. I hope that we continue to bring the resources that we can bring to help entrepreneurs. Like I said, I'm new at this as well. If there is a question that you have to ask, put it in the group. Message me, because I will reach out to someone to make sure that you guys can get the necessities that you need. We even have vendors here, entrepreneur vendors. We have Sin with Busy on the Job. I know people talk to me about one. Is that wrong?
Black on the Job.
Black on the Job. Look, and this is why you should come up here with a notepad. Freestyling it off my head. But we have Black on the Job. So if you guys need any critique when it comes to your resume or need help like that, Sin is also a good person to talk to when it comes to getting your job. She also has a planner, you guys. When I say I've never known a Black woman to own her own pageant, like planner, I was flabbergasted when she told me that. So definitely check her out. We also have Miss Bev, who I recently just met through my sponsor, and she has this big questionnaire Correct.
Discovery
questionnaire that I started taking myself. And literally the first couple of questions, I'm like, no, I balled it up and I'm like, no, you need time. This is something that you need time to sit down and really take this questionnaire because it's going to plan out your life. So definitely see her vendor table. And then we have Keisha Tate. Keisha Tate is health, wellness. Go ahead.
Health and wealth.
Health and wealth. You guys, a lot of people don't realize that when it comes to your health, like that is something that you need to think about. Like with me, being an entrepreneur, all I do is run, and I run myself ragged, and then I'm always making myself sick. If we aren't treating our body the right way, how are we going to be out there trying to be an entrepreneur? So you definitely want to meet with Keisha Tate because she's also helped me as well. I was sick over the weekend, and she gave me a remedy that cleared me up in 3 days. Like I didn't think I was going to make it, but she's definitely the person when you want to talk about health. She's a doctor, correct? You're a doctor. She's a doctor as well, so she is definitely knowledgeable when it comes to health as well. So that's my little spiel. I want to put some of my VIPs on the spot. So if you have a VIP wristband, I want you to stand up and do a 20-second commercial of who you and your business is. Y'all, this is my time to get work. What y'all doing? So we got some wristbands out here. If you have a you didn't get a wristband? You need a wristband. No, Kiana, can you get her wristband? Her name is, she's the vendor. So, like I said, it's 20 seconds. I want y'all to go around and I want y'all to tell us about your business and how y'all heard about May. So we're going to go ahead and start with Whitney. You want to start? You right here. Y'all gotta be ready. We entrepreneurs. This is the time. My hair was falling. No, not you. I'm saying everybody froze when I said stand up and tell us about your business.
That's 1 second. So let me start now. My name is Whitney Christie. I'm originally from Chicago, Illinois. Been here 2 months. Yes, I'm a Chicago baby.
That's right.
Yeah, 2 months. I'm a Chicago baby. I'm speaking it. I am the owner of Maylee Serenity. I am a massage therapist, and I am coming to teach you all how to touch your partners and not give those little weak 10-minute massages without your hands hurting. You'll be close to an expert when I'm done with you, and that is who I am.
Let me get China if my memory serves me right.
I'm China Coleman. I'm a Phoenix native. Be surprised. But what I created was I'm a Christian blogger, Babe New Mama for single mothers. So my mission is to help mothers, single mothers specifically, make time for what's important, creating the values and the vision they want for their life, and basically just create that peace for themselves with this day-to-day overwhelm. So I'm starting with blogging that will eventually lead into some transformation coaching on the side.
Hi everyone, my name is Felicia Rigby. I am a business attorney here in Arizona, and essentially what I do is I make sure that you get in business and stay in business. So I help you start businesses, keep the businesses protected, and if someone tries to take your business, I'm there for that.
Well, my name is Akim Ademola. I'm the owner of Nigeria Soul Kitchen. Born in Detroit, but I grew up in Nigeria. So my goal is we all love to eat. And I've always loved cooking. Now I started out doing meal prepping, and people love the concept and just the taste of the food because I always have that Nigerian touch to it. So from there, I started out doing catering and some soul food. So people love what I make, and I just want to bring a different type of food and different type of different stuff to people here in the United States. So that's the goal, and hopefully you guys will try it someday. I was born in Detroit, but I grew up in Nigeria.
So you got some skills from Detroit.
And I live in London too, live in Chicago for 20 years. So just a little bit of that.
That's all go.
Hi everyone, my name is Nyrisha Evans. I am the creator of Nice Growing Space blog and Nice Growing Space podcast, and I just launched my own YouTube channel yesterday for Nice Growing Space. And you will see on the tables these goal action plan journals and notebooks is what I created and donated to the event today. And the booklets is for people who have more than one goals like myself, and the little booklets is just the one goalers. And my mission is to basically share my growth journey and hopes to inspire another woman on her growth journey. And so I'm going to be a public speaker and a coach.
My name is Kenneth Green. I'm from Baton Rouge, Louisiana. I'm new here in Phoenix. I have a janitorial service. I also do electrical. So, I'm new here and I'm just trying to expand. I met Simone in college. She's an old college friend, so I'm here to support her.
My name is Beverly Brown. I'm the dream leader. My company is called Creative Consulting Dreams, and I help steer people towards their ideas and goals and dreams. Originally from New Orleans, my home, yeah, we're connected. After Katrina, I ended up in Cleveland, Ohio for 8 years, and now I've been in Arizona for 6 years as well. So with steering people towards their dreams, I also opened up Dream Steer Academy, and I have graduated 28 wonderful people that have gone on to pursue their dreams. And it's a beautiful thing, and that's how Simone ended up getting one of my discovery questionnaires, which, by the way, I think I have 24 copies. If anybody would like a discovery questionnaire, all it does is help you to remember what you did in 2019 in order to go forward to 2020 and beyond. It's kind of like jarring something in your mind. So you're welcome to have a copy of that as well today.
Hi, I'm Admin Sin. I have 3 companies. My first one is Black on the Job. We're a professional development academy. We have 60,000 members globally. We cater to only Black people globally. Half of our team is in Kenya and in Senegal, and the other half is here. We have professional development courses and services such as resume workshops, LinkedIn, mock interviews, career coaching, confidence coaching, and then we have a second company, Jobby Academy, and we do professional development courses such as interviewing while Black, negotiating while Black, stressing while Black, leading while Black. Yes, we have a little bit of everything. Our courses are taught by Dr. Miller. She is a professor at UCLA. So they're collegiate level courses. We pride ourselves in being mirrors to our community. So all of our courses and services are anywhere between $0 to 49 bucks. We like to make sure that everyone in our community can afford it. And as Simone was saying, I woke up late one night and was like, you know what? How about we help people plan out 2020? So I have created and copyrighted a professional development planner. It is a 2020 planner, so it's for the entire year. Every single quote in the planner is by Black people that you recognize, everyone from Barack Obama to Jay-Z. It has a monthly, quarterly, and weekly goals towards it. And with our planner, we actually do planner workshops to help people kind of reach those goals. So we are throwing an event tomorrow that Simone's a guest at. But we also do it virtually because, again, we have global members. And I have my assistant with me today, Yolanda. She is my right-hand man. I don't go nowhere without her. And she has SD Black Studios, which is a subsidiary of Black on the Job, and she helps with all healthcare and skincare with that. So thank you guys for having me.
Good afternoon, lovely folks. I'm happy to be here. I am Dr. Keisha Tate, the Doc of Health and Wealth. And basically, I have collaborated with a couple of doctors, other Black physicians, to talk about the health disparities that we deal with in our community. Some things are unique to us. And so we just launched this book around the holiday time, so it is available. And when I say health, as I start seeing patients, I realize there's a connection between our health and our wealth. If our change is strange, and then it affects us symptomatically. And so as I start seeing that, I wanted to do something about it, so I started seeking God for solutions. How can I help all people, but especially my people, as we struggle with, low FICO scores, the inability to purchase homes, things like that. I realized I can provide solutions on the health side, but if I couldn't fix the wealth side of it, I was limited to how effective the treatment could be. And so I partnered with a company. I was seeking a company that could help me provide solutions on both sides, and I found a company, and I saw my patient outcome be affected tremendously. And so again, Keisha, the Doc of Health and Wealth, and so there is a difference and there's a connection between the two, and so I call it change your wealth, change your health, because when you actually have the power to be able to make a difference in your own pocket, then we can affect change. We can do things like this. If we have no money, we're limited in the ability to do so. So get with me and make a difference in your life.
I appreciate y'all for letting me put y'all on the spot. I'm a part of the Chandler Chamber of Commerce, and every meeting we go to, they're like, give a 20-second, give a 20-second commercial. So if you continue to come to these type of events, know that that's something that I want to implement because it gives you a voice. So next up, we have our speaker that's going to come up. Now, me and Mary. I absolutely love Mary Mitchell. I know she is like a mother figure as well, because she definitely is not afraid to get in my inbox and say, Simone, you need to have a seat. Like, you're working yourself too much. Have a seat, sweetie, have a seat. So she always knows how to give me the right advice. She always knows how to give me the right type of words that will register into my spirit, because sometimes I will. Like I said, I'm new down here. I'm also a mother of 4 children, a single, newly divorced mother. That's not a sad story. And I do, being a mom, doing corporate, doing my business on the side, also with the children, and just to know that she is so positive and reaches out to me is so genuine and so comforting. I don't even feel like I'm alone when she's here, because she definitely reaches out, and she always has the most positive words, the most positive speeches, and that's why I was thrilled for her to be one of our speakers today. I'm definitely going to let her introduce her businesses and things to you guys, but this is a woman that is very knowledgeable, and when I say she will uplift you in the time of need, she definitely will do that. So I want to introduce our speaker, Mary Mitchell.
Hello. How's everybody doing tonight? Good. I'm nervous. So I'm Mary Denise Mitchell. I used to just go by Denise for like the first 40 years of my life, and then I switched and went to Mary because I had to prove something, and then in light of the self-awareness that I have reached, I have now put the two together, Mary Denise. So it's been really interesting, and I just recently moved here from Alaska. Yeah, that was one extreme to the next. Hot to cold, or cold to hot. I actually drove, I quit my job of 17 years with the federal government. I then got in a car and drove up here 3,684 miles later with 2 snowstorms, 1 hailstorm, 1 sandstorm, 2 rainstorms, a lot of tears, a whole lot of tears, and a horrific drive in the middle of the night, pitch black, going down the canyon. I didn't know I was going down the canyon. I did that little thing of, it's gotta be just another hour. I was in Utah. It's like, it's just another hour. No, and then I missed the turn, so that didn't help, and it took me through this canyon. And I wish I could go back and see it in the daytime, just so I can see what it was that I drove. But when I tell you it's pitch black, there was no other cars on the thing, and I remember calling my daughter. This is my daughter up at the front. I remember calling her because the kids were terrified of me driving right by myself. And I called her and I said, so this is what happened, and this is where I'm at, and I will let you know when I get wherever it is I end up. So that was an adventure of a lifetime. I am actually, my background is human services, so I've always worked with abused and neglected individuals. That's my passion, just helping people and comforting them. And I'm an executive director with the John Maxwell team. How many of you have heard of John Maxwell? Yes, I get to be his mentee, so I get to spend some time with him several times a year and learn a lot. I'm also the founder of Leadership Changers, and I'm in the process of revamping my brand and how I'm going to present myself. But I'm also a certified human behavior analyst, a mother of 3 amazing adults, and a nana of 8. Yeah, I have a lot of grandchildren. I'm extremely passionate. Like, when I realized what my true passion was, I'm very passionate about transparency. You gotta be transparent. In order to have good relationships, you gotta be transparent. I'm also very much about truth. Tell your truth, speak your truth. Too many times we don't tell what we need to say because we're afraid that we're gonna offend somebody. We're afraid that we're gonna hurt themselves, or we're just gonna do something really stupid. So tell your truth. And the last thing is, I want to help people unleash their power. I want them to unleash their inner hero. Do you know that each of you is the hero of your own story? How many of you have rewritten your story?
100 times.
100 times, absolutely. I know I'm on the vision, I don't know what many. So this slide right here, because you know you can't have a presentation without brag rights. This is my family right here. And the middle one, this one just became new in November. My son got married finally with Krista. And I just love all of my children. Like my grandchildren, my kids have learned that it's not about them anymore, it's all about the grandchildren. You know, when I say, oh, I'm gonna go back to Alaska because I miss Amaya, my son's like, well, what about me? Yeah, okay, what about you? You're grown up. So that's that. And then because we were doing the vision board and not another vision board party, I wanted to show y'all that you can do this digitally as well. How many of you have done a digital vision board? Okay, so this is my digital vision board, and it encompasses everything that I want. I focused on my spiritual walk that I want to improve on. I have family, grandbabies, being able to just hug them and love them. I want to run another marathon. Like, I want to run a marathon this year. Every year when I was in Alaska, I did the Midnight Sun Run. That's where you run at midnight, literally, or outside. 10 miles, 10 kilometers. I want to be flexible. Like, I want to be able to bend and flex, and I want to be able to meditate, and I want to make this much money. Like, I want this specific amount of money this year. And so every time I get tired, every time I get frustrated, I just look at this board. This is the backdrop to my desktop on my computer. I have it printed and laminated in the kitchen and in the bathroom. And then I usually keep one in the car as well. So if I don't have my iPad, then I can at least pull it up. But it's also on my phone. So I encourage you that when you finish these, take a picture and make it your desktop. Make it everywhere so that you can keep your eye on the prize. Because I will tell you, there's been a couple of times that I've been so tired and I get so frustrated and I shut my screens down and then there's the backdrop. And I'm like, okay, I got this, I can do this, and I get back on, okay? So we're going to talk about fear. Fear is a very powerful thing, right? I had the opportunity to listen to Tim Ferriss talk about fears, and what he said blew my mind. He talked about not writing down your goals. Okay. How many of you actually achieve the goal that you set out to write? When you write that goal down, do you actually achieve it? Okay. So instead of writing your goal, write your fear. What is it that you are fearing? Because that is what's keeping you from reaching your goal. It's what stops you. You know, you get, how many of you have said, okay, I'm going to lose 20 pounds, right? After the first 5 days, you're like, yeah, we're done. I'm good. I'm hungry. I need to eat. And so you just stop, right? You got to have a purpose, and there's a reason why you can't do that. And so you have to be able to identify the fears. I did the exercise, and it changed my life. So what fear does, okay, when we look at the fear, we're looking at it from the perspective of we're fighting for our life. We don't want to fall down the stairs. We don't want to embarrass ourselves somewhere. We look at fear from that perspective. Being afraid of all there's a million phobias out there. Fear is much more than that. Fear is actually worse. The thing about fear is that it robs you of your happiness. It robs you of your self-worth. It robs you of being able to forgive yourself or forgive others. It robs you of your future. Okay? And it robs you from becoming the person who you were purposed to be. Okay? We are all here for a specific reason. We were put on this earth. This is why we're here. And we need to live to that. But we get so afraid. Well, I know when I got divorced, my first fear was, how am I going to take care of myself? Right? Like, what am I going to do? And you start spinning and you don't go anywhere and you start getting depressed and then you're just there. So don't let it rob you. Stop letting fear rob you of what you deserve to have and what you do. So I'm going to talk about 3 types of fear. Okay? There's a lot of fears out there. Let me tell you, there's 100 fears out there. But the 3 that I'm going to talk about are the 3 that I found really impacted me. And as I talked to other women, they were sharing some of the same things. And so if you want to know more about fears, there's a brochure on your tables that talks about a course that I'm going to be offering next month, and I'll talk about that a little bit later. But the fear of failure, this one right here is a lot of not being able to get what you want, not having what you want. Or when you do have what you want, you ain't satisfied. You're like, I want more. You know, you graduate college and you get that first job and then you get that first car, right? And you drive it, you know, you got rid of the hoopty, you're past the hoopty stage. Now you get the next car. And you're like, okay, I'm done with I have a Durango. I'm done with my Durango. I don't want it anymore because now I want a Lexus. I'm not making any Lexus money, but I'm gonna go get me a Lexus, right? That's what we do. We live way above our needs because we're not satisfied with what we have. So once you can identify that fear, you can start getting that car that you actually want. The fear of pain. This one right here, this one gets me. It gets me every time. This is the one that focuses on your hurts. The hurts of the past. It's the one that shows up with the depression. When somebody did something to you when you were little, when your significant other did something. All of those hurts, they come into play and they keep you stuck. And I like to call them the conditions and circumstances of your life, right? We're all born into conditions and circumstances. We're all born either into affluent neighborhoods or we're not born into affluent neighborhoods. We're taught to believe certain things. We're taught to do certain things. We're taught to expect certain things. We're taught to just follow the herd. Right? Just follow the herd because that's what everybody does. Oh, the sheep are jumping over the cliff. No, let me go over there with you. Let me jump over it with you. No, 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 no. You have to be able to get over that. You know, you also start to hear that little voice in your head. I'm not good enough. I'm not worthy. Who's going to listen to me? I heard Simone say that earlier. Nobody's going to like you. Okay? You're not strong enough. You're not strong enough to let go of the alcohol. You're not strong enough to go and do something better. You're not capable. That little voice that starts talking to you because of all the things that you've had. When I was younger, I was adopted as a child. And my adopted mother, her name is Mary. That's why I didn't go by Mary for the first 40-some years of my life. She was very emotionally abusive to me. And she would tell me things like, you're not good enough. You need to stick with your own people. Like, you need to hang out with your own people. When I had children, she called my children the Oreo cookies. Okay? Oh, this one is so light, he needs to go be with so-and-so. Yes, my mother was racist. I finally was able to admit that when I did the scare exercise. I never really realized it, you know? And that did something to me because every time she said something negative to me about that, I questioned who I was. I questioned whether I was doing the right thing. So what did I do? I overcompensated. I put myself in extreme debt going to school to get a college degree. I have so much student loan debt right now that I could probably be in all the third world countries for the next 100 years. Okay? Because I had to prove something. I had to prove something to her that I was good enough, that I was capable of being a mother. that I could be a better mother than she was, that I could be a better human being. And so I overcompensated. I had to be the best in my class. I had to be at the top of my game all the time. Then there's the fear of now. What's happening right now in your future? Like, not the future. What's happening right now in this moment? That's when the ghost, I like to compare them to the ghost of Christmas past. Well, these are the ghosts of fears. Okay, you got the ghost of yesterday that's sitting here telling you, well, remember when your mama used to tell you that you couldn't do this and that your husband was going to leave you one day and that you didn't deserve to be a mother? Okay, that's the ghost of yesterday. Then the ghost of today is telling me, well, you know what? You're not good enough. Who's going to listen to you talk? You've been here a whole year. What are you doing? And then there's the ghost of tomorrow. That's the one that doesn't let you jump full in to pursue your passion, to pursue your dream. And that's something that you need to do. So if you can let those three fears, those three ghosts, put them in their place, you will be very appreciative of that. So what does fear do? It does these 7 things to us. When it paralyzes you, it keeps you from being able to be more, do more, and have more in life. Okay? How many of you have been paralyzed by fear when you're starting your business? Okay? What were some of those fears?
The main one, fear of failure.
Fear of failure, absolutely. Fear of failure.
Stepping out and
Finances.
Who's going to pay the bills? Absolutely. Absolutely. But it also reduces to something less than what God has for you. Okay? It lessens you. It imprisons you. You become your mind. You become a prisoner of your mind. There is not one person in this room that has not been a prisoner of their mind. If you have not been a prisoner of your mind, you need to tell us what you did to not be there. Okay? Because I want to know. It deceives us into thinking that we're never going to get what we want. You know? Who do you think you are? Really? You really think you can do that? Okay? That's that deception, that deceptive voice. Okay? We go into a life of failure and gloom. We get depressed. Okay? I know when I first stepped out on my own, I struggled a lot with how am I going to do this? And I would find myself sinking into despair because I'm like, oh, like, what am I going to do? And then I just had to sit there and regroup and rethink and go, nope, I have to do what I have to do to keep pushing forward. And it confines us. It keeps us in our conditions and circumstances. It just keeps us there. Well, I'm not making enough money, so I'm just going to keep doing what I'm doing. What's the point? I can't afford to do this because I don't have enough money coming in. That's why I like that you do health and wealth, because you put the two together. Because, oh, I can't eat healthy. You know, I don't make enough money. I can't go buy all the vegetables and stuff. You know, well, what can you do to make more money? Like, give something up. Okay? Stop watching television all day long. Stop, cancel Netflix, cancel Hulu. Although, I'm going to be honest, I'm not canceling Hulu or Netflix. That is the 2 things that I make sure I pay every month. I have my cell phone bill. Everything else, well, it can get a little tricky there. But people spend too much time doing things that have no purpose. It doesn't solve anything for them. Okay? They want to complain. You know, how many times have you been around your girlfriends and you're out to dinner and there's always one in the group that's just spewing negativity. And all of you are there smiling. Yeah, girl, and you're drinking. And you're like, God, I can't wait to get out of here. And you're looking at your cell phone. And then you go home, and then what do? You pick up your phone, you call one of your other friends. Did you hear what she said? You should have heard what she said. And you're like complaining about that person. You're feeding into that person's fears. Don't do that. Let it go. So how do you overcome fear? Well, the first thing you do is you trust God. First and foremost, you trust God. I am a woman of faith and have been for many, many years. And that is the thing that has carried me through each and every time. And how many of you can tell me what gratitude is? What is gratitude? Give me a definition.
Being appreciative of the things that you have.
Appreciative of the things that you know. I didn't hear you. I didn't hear you.
I was just saying, being appreciative of what it is that you have, even if it's not what you feel you want.
Okay. So I'm gonna blow your mind. Gratitude is actually being thankful for what is to come. Okay? It is what is to come. God, I thank you for that Lexus. God, I thank you for making sure I have the money to pay my electric bill. When you thank God in advance of what's happening, you're putting it out there. You're talking to Him. Okay? If you're not praying on a regular basis, I guarantee you when you say, God, I thank you for whatever it is that you want, whatever is on your vision board, whatever you put on there, God, I thank you for that. Gratitude is being thankful for what is to come. Okay? Not the other way around. That's a misconception that we have all been taught, right? It's what we believe, it's what we've been taught. So it's our job to rethink and reshape the way we think and see things. He gave us the spirit of power. Okay? So what words come out of your mouth? Okay? I used to say all the time, I suck at math. I can't do math to save my life. Guess what? I couldn't do math to save my life. And then one day I said, I'm gonna figure this out. I can actually do algebra now. I'm like pretty proud. I'm like, oh, I can do that. So if you're saying negative things about yourself, then other people are gonna perceive you that way, okay? He gave us the power of love. It doesn't matter what you do. It doesn't matter how many times you walk away. He's always gonna love you and he's never gonna forsake you. And then He's giving you a spirit of sound mind, right? Am I saying anything that's not true? Okay. It's all true. Absolutely. When the enemy is sitting here telling you that you're crazy, that you're out of your mind, you just say, yep, sure am, and you keep on pushing. But what most people do, instead of trusting in God, they rely on themselves. And they do this by giving in to alcohol, drugs, sex, any kind of addiction that's not normal and healthy. That's what they do to cope. They prefer to avoid the fear, right? But what you really need to do is you need to take action. Because when you take action, that's when you see a difference in how your life is going. And so the first thing you have to do is you have to find out what the source of your fear is. Like, if you don't know what your fear is and why it's there, you're not going to be able to do anything with it. There was a quote by General Patton, I believe it was, who said that in order to go into the battlefield and win, you have to know what you're going into. It's no different than knowing what your fears are. When my kids were younger, my ex-husband was deployed a lot. And this particular year, he was gone for a whole year, and I was trying to get my degree. I was working a full-time job. I was trying to get my degree. I was in the middle of an internship, so I had to rely on Ms. Barbara. I thought there was nothing wrong with her. I actually kind of liked her. She was like a big grandmother that hugged you and took you in. Yeah, later on, my kids were like, yeah, we didn't like her. We didn't like her mom. Like, yeah, she took care of y'all, so I'm good. But she used to tell me, because I worried so much, she said, baby, all this worrying you're doing, she's like, it's not doing you any good. Think of worrying as interest. Interest that you're paying for something that you'll never own. How many people buy a house, 30-year mortgage, and they're paying all that interest, and they can never pay their house off? They die before they pay it off. So don't worry about it. Don't focus on that. The other thing you have to do is you have to admit you fear whatever it is you fear. When you can admit that, that's when the real work begins. Exactly. Then just accept the reality of life. Things happen. We're all going to die one day. That's a fact. We don't know when, we don't know how, but we know what's going to happen. So what can you control? You control what you can. You control your health. You control what you think. You control your mind. You control the people you surround yourself with. You control all the positive things in your life. Then you want to focus on what you can control. That takes me to that focus on what you can control. The more you focus on what you can control, where your focus goes is where your energy flows. So if you're focused on being dead broke, you're always going to be dead broke. But if you start focusing on, I got money coming in, I got $1, yes! Yes, I have $1! That's more than I had yesterday, right? Focus on that, not the negative, because where your focus goes is where your energy goes. And I have seen that time and time again, because when I have that mindset of, I'm not good enough, because yeah, I'm human, I still get that sometimes, like, you know, you start feeling sorry for yourself every so often. But when I do that, then everything ceases. But when I open myself up to all the positive, all the great things happen. So where your focus goes is where your energy goes. Then you want to take a risk. How many of you like to take risks? Taking risks is how you grow. Being an entrepreneur is a huge risk, right? It's like huge. That's the way to go. Then you want to focus on today with courage, okay? When you focus on today with courage, it's so much better, because normally if we're in a bad state, we're thinking about all the bad things that have ever happened to us, even if it was 20, 30 years ago. Well, do you remember when you took that cup of sugar and you didn't bring it back? I mean, that was 20 years ago. Let it go. Look here, I'll go buy you a 10-pound bag of sugar. Let it go. There's no point in hanging on to that. And the final thing is you need to find the win. There is a win in everything. Every day you should find at least one win. Do you know what today's win is? Being here, okay. The other win is that you're on this side of the earth world where death is. You're alive. That's a win, because some people didn't wake up. So we're wrapping up to the fear setting exercise. There is a worksheet that's double-sided white that has the fear setting information on it. Now, as I mentioned earlier, I've put together a program that's going to start next month. It's going to be phenomenal. That will help anybody that is still struggling. If they're afraid to take a chance, or they're stuck, don't know what to do, they're just not ready, that's okay. So Tim Ferriss did this whole thing, like I told you, that changed my life. And I want you to take a pen, because we're going to do one right now, because I want you to leave here having taken action on something. Because it's easy to go places, and you're like, yeah. Then you walk out the door, and you forget, and you don't do anything. So I want you to leave here taking action. And we're going to identify at least one of your fears. Okay, so on that first page where it says what if, what is the one thing that you are terrified is going to happen to you? For me, my biggest fear is that I'm going to die. Like, no joke, because I've gotten older and I'm starting to get more medical issues. I'm like, I don't want to die yet. I've got too much to do. So that's my biggest fear, okay? So what is your biggest fear? And what is the worst case scenario that can happen? That's what we're going to address it from. Think big, okay? What if write that fear down. It should be, I don't have the other with me. Yep, what if? It should be on the flip side, because there were two of them. Okay, now that you've done that, rank it from 1 to 10. 1 being it's not going to really have any impact, it's okay. If it happens, it's what it is. And 10 is it's going to change your life forever. Like it's going to alter it tremendously. So from a scale of 1 to 10. In the next column, write down what action you can take to make the scenario not happen. So for me, the action that I can take is I can take better care of my health and make sure that I monitor my blood pressure better. I'm really bad about that, I know, and my doctor fusses at me about that all the time. So now I'm on this kick of, I'm taking care of it because I have a purpose and I want to live until my youngest grandchild's child graduates high school or college. Either one, I'll take both. But in order for me to do that, I have to take care of my health. Okay? So are we done with that one? On now, I want you in the second column, how are you going to fix it? If the worst did happen, what could you do to get things back on course? And then also look at the perspective of what else could happen. If you go ahead and take action, it's one of my favorite quotes. I'm not a big history buff, but this is one quote that I've always liked. The worst danger we face is the danger of being paralyzed by doubts and fears. This danger is brought on by those who abandon faith and sneer at hope. It is brought on by those who spread cynicism and distrust and try to blind us to our great chance to do good for all mankind. Stop letting fear paralyze you. Any questions? Well, I thank you for your time.
Okay, so, sorry you guys, so you guys could have started on your vision boards. I probably should have announced it, but I didn't. I'm sorry about that. I don't know why. But you guys can go ahead and start on your vision boards. So it's about to be 6:30 and we have Eden Grace Photography. So if you have your gold wristband, we can start forming a line. Let me clear out some stuff so she can have one of these walls and you guys can start getting ready for your headshots. If you want a headshot and you don't have a wristband, the headshots are $20, or you can do the package for $30 where you get the headshot and the food, and you will see Kiana in the back and she'll be able to give you guys the wristband. So we're about to start our headshots, and then before, do you mind if I have a couple more minutes before you start? I want to give out some awards as well before we start our headshots.